Hello and welcome to Talking Games. Just finished West Ham United 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1 at the London Stadium. Thomas Soucek equalising after a Kehrer own goal. We're here to discuss the highlights. Gonzo, we're going to skip to the big VAR first of all. 16 minutes in, Tottenham thought they had a penalty after Harry Kane headed it, and then the referee said it came off Creswell's arm in an unnatural position, gave the penalty, but VAR said, go have a look. Referee had a look and overturned his own decision. What do you make of the whole incident and also, was it a penalty?
Well, VAR working, really, was I thought it was a penalty. I thought the arm was in an unnatural position. I know he was close to him, but had that been us, I'd have been calling for a penalty because I thought it hit the arm first. And it was only really when you swapped the angles round and slowed it down frame by frame. Still think there's some work to do on that. I think they need anyway, they need better frame rates on that because they couldn't slow it down. They should be able to do a better job than that they do in other sports. But it hit him in the head first, and then that really is it. That's then end of story. But I did think it was a penalty. VAR cleared it up, and it wasn't.
Part of me thinks it was a pen because Creswell's arm to me is a bit unnatural to me. I think it's a weird jump he does. I don't think he's going for the ball. I think he's almost doing a star jump to try and put Harry Kane off a little bit. He has a look at Kane thinking, I'm never getting there. He's right, he was never getting there. I felt it was a bit unnatural. It does come off his head before it hits him on the arm. I agree with that, but I still think his arm's in an unnatural position. But I have to be consistent. I think it should have stood because...
But doesn't that eradicate that? And then what if it hits his head first? The unnatural thing doesn't count. It has to hit the arm first.
I believe that is the rule.
Yeah.
I believe that's it. But if it was the other way around, I'd be fuming. But however, I do think the penalty should stand because VAR just takes too long. It just takes too long. You know, this is why I was annoyed that our goal against Nottingham Forest didn't stand, because it took him about 3 minutes to decide. Well, it feels like 3 minutes anyway, but we got off with it. And I do think it sparked a bit of a reaction from West Ham, actually, that we got off with that. And I think you can see the relief in Creswell's face to some extent. But 20 minutes later, Gonzo, we were 1-0 down. Tilo Kehrer with the own goal. Talk me through it.
I've got no blame on Kehrer for that, really. I think it was Kulusevski ran into the space that had been vacated by Cresswell. Zouma had to go over there, just had to go over there because there was nobody at left back, because obviously we'd just been on the attack. It was a counter-attack, and I thought we'd actually been really careful not to allow Tottenham any opportunity to counter-attack. So that's obviously what they want to do. And, you know, he went into the space, and then everybody had to move over one, didn't they, because of that. It's just one of those things. I don't really apportion any blame to Kehrer. Well, I don't. None whatsoever. I thought he had a really good game, actually. It's just one of those things. I did think you saw some experience in the second half, though, because the ball came across and actually you saw Ogbonna, and the same thing could have happened if Ogbonna just completely let it run across. But I understand why he didn't let it run across. It's an unfortunate one, but I look at it and we conceded a goal because we were having a little attack then, and basically the left back, the Cresswell, been up trying to attack, and we do that quite a lot. So I didn't really have a massive problem with it. I was gutted, but didn't have a problem with it.
Poor from Declan Rice, I think, conceding that one, conceding the ball there. I think especially when you've got both fullbacks high up the pitch as well, I think it's an unnecessary risk to take, especially at 0-0. I think if you're a goal down, I understand why you have to take more risks. You're chasing the game, but 0-0, I think, you know, keep it tight first and foremost, and then see what you can do. And I think it's an unnecessary risk from Declan Rice, which lands us in trouble essentially, and then it's 3-on-3. And I have no problem with Kehrer knocking into his own goal. Well, I say that. I'd rather he didn't, but he has to go for that. If he doesn't go for that, Son taps in. I'd be more frustrated if Kehrer just stood off and let Son knock it in. He's had to try and do something. But I do think defensively, I think we were left in the lurch a little bit by our captain on that occasion, and it was just poor play from us, and maybe a bit naive is how I would possibly sum it up, I think, with that attack. But going in at half-time, what did you make of the first 45 minutes?
Oh, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I've got to say, I think you've got two teams there that have sacrificed their traditions to try and, you know, basically better themselves. And they came us. I mean, they've turned so Italian, it's unbelievable. And you know, we now sit back and defend, and we've changed our identity. Tottenham have changed their identity. I thought it made for a fascinating contest, actually. And I really like the way we rose to the challenge. All the initial nasty challenges were from them. It's clearly under instruction, systematic systematic fouling of Bowen. Well, actually, not even just Bowen, systematic targeting of his Achilles tendon. And for that reason, Tottenham can have no complaints this season if they sustain a really bad injury to one of their players, because they went out to try and injure somebody today. And they took it in turns to do him. And I thought it was quite interesting that they chose him to target. It was almost like their scouting was a season old. I could have said, oh, you want to try and target someone else, actually. But what I really liked was the way Rice stepped up straight away. Bang, you're having some of that as well. And we went for him. We said to them, okay, if you're going to foul, then we're going to foul you. And I loved it. I thought it became a real physical contest. And actually, not just the first half, I'll say that about the whole thing. I thought it was a real derby, not the most attractive game in the world, because you didn't have two footballing teams there. You had a derby of two physical teams. Look at the corner at the end, Geo, where all of our big guys going up, and Conte's packed his team full of physicality. And I thought you just had two physical teams, really, really attritional game. It was low on quality, but I did really enjoy it. We hit the post. Rice had a good shot. Bowen had a shot. Fornals had a shot. We were going for it, mate. But I didn't think we were going for it recklessly. We had to. I mean, look, when we overcommitted at one point, obviously, as you alluded to, Rice gave the ball away, we conceded a goal. I thought we really balanced it really well between keeping it tight at the back and having a go. I didn't even look, but I was very conscious that halfway through the first half, we'd had more shots, attempts on target than they did. Soucek was trying to get in the box. Antonio was making a bit of a menace. And I think, considering we didn't really have a threat from wide areas, I thought we were not functioning down, and in the first half down the right-hand side. I thought we'd done remarkably well, really.
I don't think we were as good as you think we were in the second half. I thought we were much better, and I think it was the best 45 minutes I've seen us play at half-time, and that says something considering we won last week. But I still think there was another couple of levels that we had to go to get something from the game, and I think we'd go on to go and do that. The first half, I thought we played good. I thought there was a lot of promising stuff from us. I thought there was a few players playing really well. I think there was a couple of players playing not so well, and I think that was sort of letting us down a little bit. We're carrying enough threat. I think defensively, we're looking really solid. Going forward, we're looking quite creative, quite brave. I thought Ben Rama was playing well. Antonio was incredibly unlucky with his effort where hit the post as well. For him to sort of open his body up like that and curl it around like that towards the far corner was just a fantastic piece of an individual effort from Michail Antonio. But I was happy. We were a goal down, but I was quite confident we were going to go on and get a goal. And luckily, going on at halftime with Charlie, I can say, well, if you go back and listen to me at halftime, I was quite happy. And then I was quite confident that we were going to go on and score a goal as well. And the improvement did come in the second half. We did step it up another gear, I felt, Gonzo, and we got a reward 10 minutes into the second half. Tomas Soucek, biggest goal threat all season in the Premier League, and he got his rewards tonight. He equalised.
Well, and an excellent goal. But I'll go back to what I just said about the two teams. Not a traditional West Ham goal, not a traditional, tippy-tappy Tottenham goal. This is the way it is. It was a throw-in. It was target man play. It was a quick throw-in. It was brute strength, but really good skill, I felt, to flick it through. Soucek's first touch, was everything in there. And then I thought it was a really good piece of... look, we often criticise his technique in terms of his passing. Actually, in terms of his shooting, he seems to have excellent technique. And he really did... The first touch and the technique there for the shot was absolutely excellent. And I thought it was fully deserved at that time. And I just, because I thought by this point, because we battled back against them, because we fought back when they were fouling, I thought we'd got to them in many respects. I think that's going to be part of their tactic. You also saw it with the time wasting as well. I think that's part of what they're trying to do. And I think in the end, they thought, well, hold on a second, this team are coming back at us. And we really were. I thought we fought them. And I was amazing. I was like watching a battle, that was. It was really, really good.
Yeah, I feel we stepped up from the off in the second half. Our tempo was a bit quicker. We were braver, playing 5 yards up the pitch. And the equaliser was well-deserved at this point. Fantastic hold-up play by Antonio. The way he goes to turn, I think he does go to turn, then he sees Soucek and manages just to twist his body back, and the flick is sensational from Michail Antonio. everything about it is just on the money. Completely takes Tottenham's defence out of it. The pace is perfect for Soucek to run onto. Soucek barely has to break a stride. He can just continue his run. The ball's there for him. A difficult one for him to control, though. He's running at full speed, Soucek. It's not teed up for him or anything. He's got a lot of work to do. The first touch is perfect, and it has to be perfect. But it was. The finish was brilliant as well. 1-1, deserved equaliser. And I used the phrase at halftime, under their skin, and we were very much under their skin. I agree with you. They were tactically fouling Jared Bowen in particular in the first half, and it continued on into the second half. There was a bit of a naughty tackle went in by Ben Davies on him as well. But from us scoring onwards, I thought we were brilliant, really, really good, pretty much faultless, actually. We had our chances, though, Gonzo, to secure the win. Paqueta, the ball got pulled back. Emerson, Paqueta sort of left it for each other. Well, I think Paqueta assumes Emerson's going to get it. Emerson leaves it for Paqueta, so he's not ready for it. And then Jared Bowen right at the death as well, just getting what he can on it, but just not quite enough. I mean, if Anthony gets too much contact on it, maybe not as much, and Antonio or Soucek can get on the end of it. But we're pushing for the winner. And before the game, I'd have bitten your hand off for a draw. But come the end of the full-time whistle, I was disappointed with the draw. I thought we deserved the win, in all honesty. I thought that second half performance from us, start to finish, one whistle to the other, and we had a couple of disruptions in there as well with, the Creswell, assuming he was carrying a bit of an injury. He was talking to the bench as well. I thought we handled that really well. I thought we were brilliant. I thought we were absolutely fantastic in that second half. It was a joy to watch. We were entertaining, hardworking, committed. We wanted that win tonight. And I actually come away, like I said, when the full-time whistle went, I had a little bit of disappointment about me, not through the performance of that, just that we didn't get the win, because I felt like we might have deserved it. And I think if there's an extra 5-10 minutes added on in that half, I think we might have gone on to get the winner, actually. And I think out of the two managers, I think Conte might be the one grateful to have the point.
Oh, there was only one team pushing for the win at the end, Gio. I felt I felt the momentum switch after the Højbjerg boot thing. And I do know why some teams do it. Let's be fair. We saw Brentford did it twice to us last season, and it worked. Sometimes it gets points. We also saw Villa do it last season. It just doesn't work. And the fouling had stopped working by that point. So then you had, and clearly it's instruction. It is a very Italian Serie A. They do it all the time in Serie A. So it was the case, okay, let's wind the clock down. Let's kill the momentum in the game. And I thought initially, the first incident with Højbjerg, I thought it had actually worked, because actually we started the second half really, really well. Then Declan Rice went in on Højbjerg, fouled Højbjerg. So the battle was going on then. And I thought it killed it, and they sucked the momentum out of it. Actually, it took us another 10 minutes to get going again. So actually, sometimes it works. But by that point, they'd almost... I won't use that phrase. Almost is a terrible phrase. They'd almost lost their own momentum that they'd caused, basically, by the second bit with Højbjerg and the boot. And I sort of felt after that, they were probably, after we scored, they were probably thinking, hold on, we'll take a point here. And I really did get that impression. There was more time wasted, there was more fouling, and a lot more of that than actual pressure going forward. I don't know. I would imagine if I was a Tottenham fan, I'd have been very, very frustrated today, because I'd have been thinking, why weren't they going for it? There was one bit when Richarlison, he made Ogbonna look like he was going backwards, didn't he? Let's be honest with you. And apart from that, I really didn't see an awful lot. I'm really good. I thought a really good cover in the end from Kehrer, who is really nice to have a fast player at the back, actually. But I was really proud of the team today, and I would have, could have done with a camera on Moyes throughout probably the last 20 minutes, because he was quite animated. I think the stadium felt we could win the game. I felt, as fans, we felt we could win the game. Our team felt we could win the game, and it felt like that. And Tottenham, there's no doubt about it, we're nervous, really nervous at the end.
And we wanted to as well. I think that's key. We wanted to win the game. We didn't get the equaliser and think that'll do. Let's keep it tight. Let's not make any mistakes. We got the goal. It's like let's go again. Let's get the second one. And we really did go for it. I thought the substitutions were positive. Every single one, I think, made a positive impact as well towards our performance. At half-time, I'll be honest with you, at half-time, I was hoping to see, I wouldn't have minded Jared Bowen withdrawn from play at half-time, because I thought he was struggling to get in the game. Nothing to fault about his enthusiasm, his work rate, or anything like that. But I just thought he's the one that I felt we could have perhaps wasn't playing to the performance levels I would have liked. But I thought he got better in the second half. I thought the whole team got better as the game went on. Every 10 minutes, I think we just raised our performance a little bit higher. And if you look at this and you go back and look at how we played against Brighton, it's two completely different teams almost to some extent. And this is a big result for us, but it's an even bigger performance for us tonight. I think there's so much positives to take from this, so much players playing well. And some players played well tonight that also played well against Aston Villa. And form is a short-term thing. And then you can safely say that this player and that player are sort of in form for West Ham in a minute, heading into the game against Chelsea at the weekend. And I think we were always quite optimistic that we could do something against Chelsea. Now we can go from being optimistic to being confident off the back of that. We play like we did in the second half for 90 minutes at Stamford Bridge. I see it difficult to not see us coming away with something, a draw at worst, playing like that. But I thought we were really, really good in that second 45 minutes, Gonzo. Now, before we move on to the individual performers, anything else you'd like to add?
I'm just thrilled. I mean, it's been a real good few days, week, whatever it's been, since Viborg and then, bringing Kehrer in and obviously winning against Aston Villa. Was just thrilled with that performance. Incredibly important for our morale as fans, in a London derby state. They are a good team. And I don't mean that when I say about them changing their style to be demeaning, because I'm more than capable of trying to demean Spurs if I want to. I think we've changed our style, and I think they've been playing a certain way for so long. And I think if they're going to try and win something, and Spurs really do want to win something, they've got to change what they're doing. They've got a really wise manager there, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do get a trophy. So I think to play that well against them, they're going to rattle everyone this season. And for us to rattle them, and you know this, Gio, I don't mind the battling games. I enjoy it. I enjoy the confrontation. I don't really have I'd have had a problem if they had Bowen had been out for 12 months with a bad injury. I would have had a problem, but I don't mind a bit of argy-bargy, so to speak. Not a problem with that at all. So to come away with that in a game that was a bit of a battle, and I felt we should have won. I thought we were the best team. So I'm thrilled, absolutely thrilled with it.
Individual performers?
I'm really buzzing about Kehrer, I've got to say. I mean, I really, really am. We might save him for later. I was really pleased with Soucek's performance today. I thought it was really, really pleasing to see. His tackling, his determination. Clearly, he scored a goal. We've mentioned the technique of the first touch and the finish for the goal, which was excellent. Felt he really wanted it today. Getting back, last-ditch tackle to help the defence. That was brilliant. Zouma was good again. Really, dominant, lots of headers away. All right, I know he was a bit Steamboat Willie, and they look like an old tanker going backwards at the end. But I was so pleased to see Bonner get Premier League minutes. And actually, apart from the running bit when he's in position, really good. I do want to mention. By the way, Antonio was very good. There were lots of good performances. I can't mention everyone. We've got our player ratings video tomorrow. A little bit on Cresswell, really. Cresswell is, I'm finding Cresswell a little bit of a contradiction in many respects at the moment. When he's in position and on that back post, I think his defending is getting better and better. I think you're seeing tackles. I think you're seeing clearances. I don't know, because he's getting used to. He's played a little bit of left centre-back over time. So actually, even when he's not playing there, and I don't really know what position he was playing today, at times he kept on swapping between one and the other. Sometimes I looked at it and I thought he's an auxiliary third centre-back. Other times he's there doubling up with overlapping Fornells on the left. I couldn't tell you, right? I think it was that hybrid stuff going on again today. So when I see him, when he's set in position, I think he's getting better. 2 or 3 clearances, headers. I know the handball stuff and all the rest. Forget that. I think when you get him moving and when you run at him, he's a liability. So I think there's a Jekyll and Hyde aspect to his performance there, which is worrying. So if you can get him static, get him stationary, if you can get him with protection, the other side of him, his intuition to make the clearance and interception is very, very good. Isolate him and is a bit of an accident waiting to happen, actually. So yeah, praise and criticism there, I guess. But yeah, lots of performances, mate.
I thought Antonio was brilliant up front. I thought he led led the line really well, led the press really well too. Something we've been lacking, especially against Aston Villa. It was quite non-existent, and I can only go by what I've seen. I'm not trying to discount what he does or what he doesn't do, but I feel he's a lot better at pressing than what Skraka is from what I've seen so far in a West Ham shirt. And we needed that tonight at times. That Tottenham defence was rattled when we pushed them. When the defence went up, when Bowen and Antonio, sometimes it was Rise for Niles, Paqueta at one point, when they all pushed up and went in Tottenham's defence's faces, they didn't like it at all. They looked very uncomfortable, and Antonio was a big part of that. First half really unlucky with that effort, fantastic assist. He doesn't quite put it on a plate for Soucek. I won't say that because Soucek's got a hell of a lot to do when he picks it up. But that, I won't get tired of seeing that assist. The way he just turns to his left, then sort of in the same movement, twists back and flicks it over on the right-hand side. And I think it's Ben Davies behind him is gone. He's away looking for Antonio. He's like, hang on a minute, where's he going? The ball's over there all of a sudden. The assist was just wonderful from Antonio. I just think he was really, really good tonight. Big energetic performance from him. Tomas Soucek, thought he played well too. This type of game that suits him to some extent. I thought he battled hard, battled well. Thought him and Rice did quite well together in centre midfield. Got his goal. He's deserved it. While we can have critics out how Moyes deploys Tomas Soucek, I think one thing you can't say is he's been our biggest goal threat in the Premier League this season. I think he has been and got his reward today and a good all-round performance from him. And I have to say, I thought Declan Rice was brilliant today. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. Back to his old self. I think he really, really stepped up to the plate. I could see a captain on the pitch today for West Ham United and Declan Rice. That he was going into the tackles full-blooded. I think he was arguing at the right times. Then he also at the same time, one minute there'd be when he went in Højbjerg and then he's down. You could see him having to go at Emerson Royale or Sanchez, I think it was, and piss off, And then when Emerson does it to Richarlison, Rice says, "Oh, just calm down. Hang on a minute. You're giving it large 10 minutes ago." But I like that about him. I thought his passing was much better tonight. Declan Rice, 2 touch, one to control it, the other one pass it. Quite often he was doing the 40-yard cross-field balls, switching the play really, really quickly. I thought it was a huge performance from him in midfield. And second last player I want to talk about is Kurt Zouma. Brilliant again. It was almost like a continuation of Villa Park last week for him. You can tell he's still not 100% fit. At times you can tell he's hobbling a bit, but big performance from him. Got a smack in the face from Hugo Lloris in the first half as well. Good goalkeeping, but brave from Zouma. He knows he's going to get clumped by the keeper going in for that, but he goes in for it. At the end there, Richarlison again, he knows he's going to get hurt. This is a guy that's already injured. A way to do a challenge or a contest that he knows he's going to come out worse off, but he has to do it, and he does it. And I thought it was a big performance from him as well. And we needed big performances from big players now. If any of those players went hiding, we would have probably got beat, but they didn't. They stood up, put their chest out, and that didn't look like a West Ham team that had lost the first 3 games of the season. This is the West Ham team that we've seen before Christmas. I'm going that far back. This isn't the second half of last season. We were relatively poor bar our European games, but this was a real good David Moyes West Ham performance tonight, I felt, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I didn't want the game to end, actually. Any final words from yourself, please, Gonzo, as well as your man of match? And I think we're going for the same person tonight.
Well, I can see there's somebody in the chat who's just ordered a bitter with a side order of sour grapes, which is always nice to see. I was delighted, absolutely delighted today. I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing. Look, we started the season slowly. This is just what we need ahead of a Chelsea game. I'm really looking forward to our player ratings tomorrow because we've got lots and lots to talk about. In terms of the man of the match, Geo, I've got to give it to the goal scorer, my friends, and not Tomas Soucek. I'm astounded, actually. I don't use that word lightly. I didn't realise this player was as good as he is. I think we might have had a little bit of a bargain. Sorry, I'm talking about Kehrer, obviously. I think we might have had a bit of a bargain there. Reading of the game, pace, so nice to have a good centre back. His distribution. I'm just trying to find the bit. I can't even remember. There was a bit where we went on the attack where we had a shot. It might have been Antonio's shot. Can't remember. No, hold on a second. Sorry. Can't remember. He played a beautiful ball forward, Gio, with the outside of his foot. When anyone else would have played it against the back line, just look, bang, pass it. We were on the attack. Plays the ball forward he need to. Crossing, passing, heading, running, tackling, interceptions. He is class. I'll tell you something now. I used to think that when everyone was fit, it might be a case of David Moyes deciding who plays alongside Zouma. If he plays like that all the time and he keeps improving at the rate he is, you may well be finding out that David Moyes decides who's going to play alongside Kehrer. I thought he was exceptional.
Yeah, he's my man of match as well. Another fantastic performance from him. It was between him and Antonio for me on Sunday against Aston Villa. Him and Zouma on Sunday against Aston Villa, but it's him hands down tonight. For me, I thought he was just brilliant in possession. He looks like a centre midfielder or something when he's got the ball at his feet. He's happy to walk out of the defence with his crossing at the end there, that last 5 minutes when we had Tottenham boxed in. Two wonderful crosses, both first time as well. There's no 3 touches and get it in. There's none of that. He's lay it off and I'm going to stick it in that box. And there were some real good deliveries. That was led to Jared Bowen almost scoring at the end there as well. But I never seen him at PSG. I only really seen him at Schalke, and he's exactly as I remember from the Bundesliga, because he is still a little bit rash. There is 1 or 2 times he comes out and he could just stand behind the man, but he doesn't. He flies him in a slight tackle. And it can be a little bit iffy. And I think it's going to cause us a problem at some point this season. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets in trouble for doing a bit of a tackle where he shouldn't really be doing it. But tonight, while there was still a couple of dodgy ones, he won the ball both times. It just firm challenges, if you like. But he'll become a crowd favourite very, very quickly with performances like that. And I enjoyed Kehrer and Zouma against Aston Villa. Enjoy them both again tonight. When Tottenham attack and the cross, then they're just heading it away, clearing it away. I enjoy seeing sort of good old-fashioned defending like that at times. And you feel like you've got like a wall in front of your goalkeeper. You're like, good luck. And I feel like that at the moment with them two back there. But yeah, Kehrer, man of match for me, hands down. Another wonderful performance from him. Anyway, shall we leave it there, my friend?
Yeah, brilliant, mate. You know, absolutely chuffed. Absolutely chuffed with that.
There you go, 2 happy hammers tonight after West Ham United secure a point at home to Tottenham, with Tomas Soucek scoring the equaliser after a Teal Kehrer own goal, who we gave man a match to, and got Tottenham up and underway. If you enjoyed this review, please drop a like on and subscribe. New to Hammers Chat, myself and Gonzo. We'll catch you tomorrow. It's transfer deadline day tomorrow. We'll be live 9 till 11 p.m. right here, taking a look back at the transfer window overall, plus hopefully, maybe a new signing, as it's believed that West Ham's pursuit of Jans Benderek has advanced this evening while the game was going on as well. So someone's busy. So it looks like Benderek may become a West Ham fan. However, it all depends on if Craig Dawson departs the Hammers. We'll discuss it tomorrow night. Catch you then.